All right, what is going on, everyone? We are back. Week 11 in the NFL. We got Hit the Books. I think this is season 5, episode 11. Me and Ace coming to you this week. No Mackie, no Jesse. We got some good NFL on the topic this week. NHL, another weekend of the season. NBA, going to get into our power rankings there and in both the NHL. And then obviously our newest top 10 rankings in the college football rankings world going into week 12 in college football, our top 5 games of the week there as well. But we'll start things off. Ace, how are we feeling heading into week 11 in the NFL? Been a great time in the sports world. All the college basketball underway, NHL, NBA. Your Bruins are hot right now. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that Spider-Man meme for me right now. The Bruins and the Patriots both pointing at each other like, hey, we have a 7-game winning streak going. So times are looking good for us. Jason Tatum's also getting healthier up here. And some of the NFL playoff pictures starting to heat up. We're getting a little bit of a sculpture of what it's going to look like. The NBA is in full motion right now. We might get LeBron back here soon too, but it's been nice to see the coverage of all the different new players in the league there. Some exciting young stars in the NHL have started to take over too. And we still have those GOATs like Crosby, Ovechkin, and Malkin running the league as well. So a lot of good stuff to talk here this week, ready to get rolling.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to get right into our NFL for this week. Like I said, week 11, we have our power rankings before we get into our slate here. At number 5, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Number 4, your New England Patriots. Number 3, there's Los Angeles Rams. Number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. Number 1, back at number 1, are the Philadelphia Eagles. How are we feeling about this top 5 coming into week 11 in the NFL?
You obviously know I'm hyped to the Drake Matriots are in that top 5 there. But, of course, the reigning champs are right back where they should be in that number 1 spot. They've been playing some good football. I know some people have them ranked a little bit lower, but they're not even playing their best football yet, and they're still 8-2, 7-2, whatever it may be, coming off that big win against the Packers in the primetime. I know it was a close game, but that's a good team they have out there in Green Bay too. So great to see that, and I think they're going to start getting some more of their weapons involved, even though A.J. Brown did drop that quote, "Don't play me if you have me in fantasy," but I still think he's a premier receiver in this league. Those Seahawks, that whole NFC West is tough. Even those 49ers right behind the Rams and the Seahawks are still making some noise with their banged up squad, should be getting some pieces back. And that last spot's been pretty tough to decipher. Is it the Lions? Is it the Chargers? But you still got to respect what the Colts are doing. Jonathan Taylor, absolute menace with 17 touchdowns in the year. He's beaten a few of the teams out there too, so can't disrespect.
I was gonna say I think the Colts deserve that spot. I think I had them at 4 and you guys at 5. Either or, I think you could do it either way. But I think that win last week against Atlanta kind of. I know that's an
OT
international
win.
game, mutual field, but I think that game kind of showed why the Colts are so good. Jonathan Taylor, yet again, another huge performance. It just kinda took
230
over.
yards on the ground.
Yeah, it just drops his nuts on the Falcons' face in Germany. That was a great game. Colts end up not covering that, but obviously in overtime, so Jonathan Taylor gets the game winner. I did say on our live stream, Jonathan Taylor first and 2+. I didn't end up taking either of them. I did take any time in a parlay, but I wish I would have jumped on those the first. He was only like plus 300. It wasn't even that much worth it. I think 2+ was plus 400. But yeah, I
Mr.
think Colts
Automatic.
deserve that spot. You guys definitely as well in the streak you're on. The Rams look unreal. Matthew Stafford's on an MVP tear. Up there with your boy May, Jonathan Taylor. I think he should be in that conversation as well, like you said, with the amount of touchdowns. But and then the Seattle Seahawks with JSN and Sam Darnold and that defense have done up there in Seattle. And then, like you said, the Eagles back at 1. But we have a great slate this week. We're going to start things out on Thursday Night Football with your New England Patriots hosting the New York Jets in a divisional matchup. And I believe our biggest spread of the week is the Patriots minus 13 at home, over under at 43. Patriots money line is minus 800, Jets plus 550. Can your boys cover the 13 in the divisional spot here?
Yeah, and those Thursday night games, it's always tough in a divisional spot too. With that many points, you're thinking like light week. You don't have that much practice or some injuries. We're going to be rolling with our rookies once again, showing off that speed, setting the highest speed rankings for rookies this year with Travion Henderson, Kyle Williams last week. And nobody can really say, oh, it's that light schedule, because now they've gone into Buffalo, they've gone into Tampa Bay and beaten some legit teams too. The defense showing up when it needs to. And Josh McDaniels giving us some reminiscence of the Brady days with the plays that he's calling for Drake May, and he's stepping up to the moment and slinging it whenever he needs to. But yeah, like I said, it's nice to see Travion Henderson burst onto the scene. And the Jets are dealing with some tough spots here. No Garrett Wilson this week. So who's going to be Justin Fields' main target? I know he doesn't even throw for that many yards week
50
in, week
yards
out,
he had 12 yards without that
that
Brees
big
Hall
play.
basically
Yeah.
screen pass.
And then the other interesting story is, too, the Patriots have only allowed one rusher. The leading rusher they've given up this year is a 55-yard rushing game against them. And Brees Hall is going to be asked to do a lot here. I don't think he's going to have such a big day as we can key in on him and really make Justin Fields beat us through the air. Maybe they'll look to Mason Taylor a bit more. Nice tight end that they have on that side. But I don't know. They just moved on from Sauce Gardner. Can that defense really contain them? They're going to bring out their best where they're some really big dogs and they're really hyped up for this one. But in Gillette, I like the Patriots here. Debuting some new jerseys here this week too. Flying all over the field. Christian Gonzalez, since he's come back, been an absolute menace. I think he's the cornerback one. Shut down Emeka Egbuka last week, and he's been all over the field. Jalen Hawkins ranked as PFF's number 2 safety in the league too. That's a nice rookie piece. We got rid of Duggar. We got rid of Peppers. And they've stepped up and showed why he's a premier piece, why Vrabel values him. He likes those safeties playing over the top, not really in the box. Spillane stepping up, wearing that number 14, like his family members did back in the day too. So firing on all cylinders. And it's a different receiver every week, which is crazy. It was Kayshon Boutte earlier in the year. He's been out the last few weeks. Now Mac Hollins is stepping up. Stephon Diggs showing he's still a premier threat on the outside. Hunter Henry's a solid target. Pop Douglas, and now Kyle Williams involved. I just think it's a good spot for the Patriots to be firing on all cylinders here, going on a short week against a banged-up, weak Jets team that Aaron Glenn is leading.
Yeah, I like 2 plays here, and I like them a lot. I like the first half under 23.5. I think this game goes one of 2 ways. I think it'll either be an ugly divisional game, which I think is not likely, and the Jets could cover that 13. But the way that I'm going to bet this is take the under in both halves. I think this could be a Patriots 10 to 14-3 at halftime under that 23.5, and then I don't know, 28 to 10 final score, somewhere in there. They cover the 13. That's why I'm more confident in the under more than the Patriots or the Jets plus 13. Sorry, but yeah, I like the 2 plays. You're probably going to see both of those on my card. Under 23.5. I saw it on MGM. It was minus 130. Maybe shop that around. I'm sure you can get 23 around even money or minus 110. But under 43 is what is posted here on MGM for the full game. I like both of those. I think it'll fall in that 28, 31 to 10, somewhere like that.
Could the Patriots cover that on their own, though, if they're firing on all cylinders like they have been?
43, that's a lot. I don't know. That's a lot.
I think Justin Fields does get a garbage time touchdown here. I saw a lot of people.
Yeah, Jets have found they've I don't know, they're on a winning streak. I guess you could say that over the past 3 weeks, but I'm not saying I don't think anyone's going to pick them to win this game. But I did say this exact spot to Mackie last week. I'm like, divisional game, double points. I'm like, Mackie, I'm not betting the Bills here. He's like, dude, you cannot get me to bet the Dolphins here. I'm like, I like the Dolphins plus 9.5. I'm not going to say they're going to win the game.
Won it outright.
Yeah, this is a totally different spot, but I like the under more than the Jets plus 13 for that reason.
Yeah, and Drake May posting his first sub-100 passer rating game last week. I think it was still at like 98, and going up against a lighter defense without their big stars. They traded Williams, they traded Sauce. I mean, how are they going to slow down what the Patriots are doing? Ramondre Stevenson ruled out once again, so is Boutte. But we're going to see that big game from Travion Henderson. I expect him to kind of implement his face on the league, and he's got such fresh legs with the limited amount of carries he's had on the year. We saw those 2 big runs he had last week, so look for him to have another big day here. And I like how they're involved in that defensive tackle Tonga on the fullback position too. He had a key block that sprung him for that game-winning touchdown too. So I could see a Patriots maybe defensive touchdown too, something crazy. But I like some Matt Collins reception props. I like some Mason Taylor props. I like Drake May to throw for 2 at least. And I think Fields does get 1 in garbage time too. I don't know how, but it'll be an ugly one. But I like the Patriots here this week. I do think they can cover this one though. Can't put them on the card though. 0-2 when I card the Patriots this year. So I'll stay off of that and keep the good vibes rolling. But I'm going to stick with the streak and say they can get their 8th in a row here.
Yeah. We move to our Sunday slate where we have the 2 teams on bye this week are those Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints. But we have a Madrid game and arguably maybe the worst game on the slate this weekend. International game Sunday morning in Madrid. The Washington Commanders versus the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are the favorite here, -2.5, over under 47.5. Dolphins money line -155. Commanders +130. Which way do you go here? I think you got to say Dolphins after the win they just had. You got to think they carry something over to Spain and get a win.
Yeah, I mean, without Jaden Daniels in the mix too, I mean, he's out another week. He's out through the bye. They said Marcus Mariota at the helm. They haven't been able to get their offense rolling at all. With Cliff Kingsbury, it's kind of surprising, but with the injuries they've dealt with, I guess it makes sense. And Bill Krosky-Merritt, he's had an up and down season, becoming that feature back without Austin Eckler. I know Thompson's jumped in the role and looked pretty good too, but I just can't really trust them. And coming off of a big win against the Bills, I know you could think, oh, it could be a letdown spot. They had all their high mojo going there, but I think there's just too much offensive firepower on that Dolphin side of the field. And when Tua can kind of play a good game, they're right in the mix. You have Devin Achane and Jalen Waddle out there, two very premier targets. Malik Washington, not a bad second fiddle with Tyreek Hill down. And their defense stepping up too. I know they made that move that sent Phillips to the Eagles, but they still have enough pieces, I think, and that Redskins Commanders team is just on a downward spiral. Pretty interesting to see Donald Trump in the building last week for that game. I think that was a big thing that everybody didn't expect to see. So that was kind of interesting. But I think Bill Krosky-Merritt does find the end zone. That Dolphins' run defense hasn't been too great. I know they stymied the Bills last week. Such a surprising win. Shout out to Mike Daniels for driving by the Bills celebration or bar party they had. Yeah, and he's just driving by just saying, hey, we're still here. We're not very good, but we're getting our wins when they matter. And I think they can go on a little win streak here and grab a second one this week. 2.5 points, not that much. I'll take the spread on this one here. And I think A-Chain finds the end zone for sure.
Yeah, he's been an absolute beast the past few weeks and throughout the most of the season. But yeah, we'll move into our 1 o'clock slate here. The Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. The Titans are getting 6.5 points at home. Over under at 37.5. Titans money line is +260. Texans -325. Which way do you go here?
Yeah, the Davis Mills-led Texans looked pretty good through the air last week. You got Nico Collins over 100 yards. You got Dalton Schultz with a bunch of targets. Jaden Higgins had a good day. I think he had 7 targets, about 5 catches. He found Pater as well. Woody Marks is nice to see in that backfield too. A little electrifying rookie in that mix. Their defense is really strong too. I think that's going to be the big story here. They're going to throw fits for Cam Ward all game long. They've had the coaching changes. Their running back room's kind of in shambles. Is it Pollard? Is it Tyjae Spears? Maybe you get Calvin Ridley back this week, but Iomanor and DK have been pretty good stepping up in his absence, but that team just can't find ways to win. They get some solid plays, but a lot of negative ones, a lot of turnovers too, and that pass rush for the Texans is going to be mean. I know Stroud hasn't practiced this week, still out with that concussion. Today, Wednesday, he's still sitting today, so I'm expecting Mills to stay in, and if he can win football games and you can get Stroud fully healthy, why not stick with it for the time being? They're not knocked out of that playoff race yet. They're still here. I'm looking for the Texans to stay hot and continue to win with a light defense on tap.
I agree. Do you like 6.5? You'll take the -6.5.
Oof, that's a tough
Titans
line
at home
with Davis
off a
Mills.
bye.
Yeah, I still like the Texans here to cover this one.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to be able to put up too many points, which is crazy to say. Davis Mills wasn't even that bad. Let's not forget that. When he was the quarterback before CJ Stroud came in, he looked decent in his rookie year, and he can sling the rock around. And they have the weapons to where if you can get it in their hands, their playmakers are pretty good. I like those depth receivers they have over there in Houston as well, behind Nico. Like I said, Jaden Higgins and Hutchinson, and I believe it's Noel is the other one too. They have a lot of exciting rookies too. Dalton Schultz, solid target, like I said, but that pass rush and that secondary for the Texans is going to stay mean, make it tough for Cam Ward all day. Tough rookie year, tough spot to be. I still think he's going to be a good quarterback in this league with the talent he has, but I don't think they find it this week. They're set up for another high draft pick.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get into our next game here. Our fourth game we're going to get into, but our third divisional game and third of 8 divisional games this week.
Crazy.
That feels like a lot, but the 6-3 Bears are heading to Minnesota to take on the 4-5 Vikings. Vikings are the favorite here, over at -3, over under at 48.5. Vikings money line is -165. Bears +140. I like the Bears +3 points here. I think. Give me the dog in this divisional matchup. I'm not a fan of 9 JJ McCarthy, whatever you want to call him.
9.
I'm not big on the Minnesota Vikings with him under center. I do think they still have a good defense. Very tough place to play. Obviously, Jefferson, Addison, all the skill players they have. Aaron Jones has looked great so far this year as well, but This Bears team is buzzing. I'm going to take them to be in another divisional game here and give me them plus the 3 points.
Yeah, divisional dog. They're in a good spot. This Vikings team has been up and down. I know JJ's been in and out of the lineup. They looked really weak with Wentz at the helm. But McCarthy brings that second element to the offense. He can run the ball too. He can find Pater with his legs. And he has all that skill around them. And they finally get to face a tougher defense or a lesser defense here with the Chicago Bears. So they should be able to find some more room to get those playmakers involved. As long as JJ can secure the ball and not throw interceptions last week, they should stay in this game. However, Ben Johnson has Caleb Williams looking good. I know some people are up and down on him, but his skill has been evident. Last week in the snow, making some clutch, big-time throws in that comeback win that they had against the Giants last week. And the Vikings, though, they're coming off of a tough game. That Ravens team fully healthy now, that defense getting stronger. That was a tough matchup for them in this spot. I think this is going to be competitive all the way throughout. I personally am on the Vikings to win and cover here this week, but this Bears team is going to keep it close too. I'm going to lean on the stronger defense here. That's my play. But Swift has looked good. Monangai, when he steps in, he looks very good as well, the rookie running back there. Some people think he could supplant Swift in that number one role, but I think the 1-2 punch is pretty clean. And then the weapons that Caleb has on the outside, I mean, that's a great receiver room to throw to. You have Odunze, you have DJ Moore. I think they have Zacchaeus too. Colston Loveland starting to come around. He had those big plays against the Bengals a couple weeks ago, so we can make that a notable point as well. I expect a lot of points, though. I know, like we said, that Vikings defense is tough. I expect for Williams to have a turnover, maybe two, but I still think they're going to put points on the board. My favorite play is the over here this week. I know it's a divisional game, so it's tough to say that, but I see both these offenses with their star-studded cast being able to put points on the board.
Yeah, I like it. We'll get into our next one. Another 1 o'clock game here in the AFC North, with the Bengals heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Steelers are the favorite here at 5.5, over under at 48.5. Steelers on the money line is minus 235, and the Bengals plus 195. My favorite play here that I would say is I don't like 5.5 ever. That's always a weird spread. I feel like this could fall in 4-3. Steelers love playing in close games. They suck as a favorite. They're good as a dog. Well, I don't know what to do here. I think it will be a high scoring game, though. I think it could be 27-24, somewhere in that range. Get up on that over 48.5. I think you're good to take any DK Metcalf props here. Receptions, Chase, probably a touchdown. Jamar Chase as well. I think receptions and a touchdown. I think both of the top receivers get in. I even think you could see maybe a Chase Brown touchdown or a Jaylen Warren. I think there's a lot of points in this game. Give me the over 48.5. I think the Steelers will get a win. Both these teams will split at home. They always do. 5.5 is a scary number, but I like the over 48.5. Steelers will get the win. Like I said, divisional game. I think they split. They usually do with Cincy and Baltimore. Haven't played Baltimore yet, so we have to see how that ends up working out. But I like over 48.5 here mostly.
The Unk Bowl Part 2. These quarterbacks are a bit more wiser, a bit more older too. I mean, I don't know how much more wise they can get with all the years they've both been in the league. But let's not forget the last time these two teams matched up was on a Thursday night football game, and they both put up over 30 points. It was a nail-biter. I mean,
what was like 32-30?
33-31, I want to say.
It was a 2-point game. I know that.
Yeah, it was a crazy one, and Jamar Chase went absolutely nuclear. Let's not forget T. Higgins. We didn't even mention his name, and he's a premier receiver too. They spent all that money on the offense, and it's for a reason. They can put points on the board, but that defense for the Bengals, man, they just can't buy a stop when it matters. And the other thing you have to recognize here is coming off the bye, trying to stay in the hunt, because Joe Burrow, he's just around the window from returning. Can they stay in the mix to kind of stay alive in that AFC North and the AFC picture and give Burrow a chance to propel them into the playoffs? I don't know. I think they're going to be fired up for this one. And your Steelers team is spiraling, man. Their offense has gone completely stagnant. Mike Tomlin a bit baffled by Rodgers' performance last week. And outside of DK Metcalf and Jaylen Warren, where else do you go to get points? Only putting up 10 against the Chargers defense is pretty strong last week. I expect a lot more here too. I like the over in this spot. You guys just keep looking for any type of secondary help you can get. You brought in Jabril Peppers. You brought in Kyle Duggar. You just brought in Asante Samuel Jr. I don't think he'll probably be playing this week.
I don't think he's playing, yeah.
Good ad, in my opinion.
He might be, actually. He got here on Monday.
Yeah, and he's been recovering from that brutal injury. We kind of talked about that coming back. Yeah. That's the reason people have been waiting so long to sign him. But he's so young. He had that skill coming out of college. I like this ad by the Steelers on that defensive side. They need all the help they can get, especially against that high-powered offense. But that Bengals defense, man, super leaky.
Chase will still have 100 yards and 10 catches for a
The amount
touchdown.
Joe Flacco targets him, I think you're safe to take any prop in the mix. He's going to see double-digit targets. T. Higgins will as well. Joe Flacco just funnels the ball to his skill players. I mean, how can you not when they have what they have on that side of the ball?
The
I
Bengals have a tough schedule the next 5 weeks. This week in Pittsburgh, you already beat them, so most people think they split. Next week, host your Patriots. The week after, in Baltimore. The week after, in Buffalo. The week after, host Baltimore. Then you have 3 easy ones to end the season. In Miami, host the Cardinals, host the Browns.
So this almost comes up as a must-win spot for the Bengals here. With some of the opponents you have coming up, this could be one of the lighter ones. But like you said, playing in Pittsburgh is always a tough spot to go into. You know that the Steelers are going to be up as it's a must-win game. You guys are sitting there with a commanding division lead. Now it's only a 1-game
I was
lead
going to say,
over.
this is must-win just as much for the Steelers as it is the Bengals.
Sitting at 5-4, the Ravens at 4-5. I mean, what more do you want in a divisional matchup here? Both teams desperate for a win. One trying to keep their season alive. One trying to keep their division win hopes alive too. Yeah, I like a lot of points here, but Aaron Rodgers, you're going to need a big game here in this spot. You're going to have to unlock some of those other weapons, those 2 tight ends, Washington and Freiermuth. They have to get going a little bit. Maybe we see Roman Wilson step up or Calvin Austin, but somebody else is going to have to be playing strong alongside DK Metcalf to put points on the board here.
Absolutely. Our next divisional matchup, next game on the board is in the NFC South with the Panthers at 5-5, heading to Atlanta to take on the 3-6 Falcons. Falcons are the favorite at 3.5 points, over under 42.5. Falcons money line -190, Panthers +155. Can I interest you in the Carolina Panthers on the money line here?
You cannot, because they're not playing at home. And let's not forget, though, the last time these two teams match up, the Carolina Panthers absolutely dismantled the Atlanta Falcons. So you got to think there's a little bit of vengeance coming from the Atlanta side of the ball. They just had a very hard-fought loss last week against the Indianapolis Colts, one of the league's best this year, just missing as they forced the game to overtime but couldn't end up pulling through the win. They had a tough game against the Patriots a couple weeks ago with a Parker Romo missed extra point being the crucial play. But their weapons are so strong. Drake London, I know he's questionable this week now. I think he is going to suit up, but he's looked like a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
I love him
Uncoverable.
to score in this game. I was going to say that's probably my favorite play, but I agree.
Yeah, he's been uncoverable. Every time you get him the ball, it's a big play waiting to happen. Bijan Robinson, we know how good he can be. Got to kind of unleash him here. He didn't find the end zone last week. Lately, it's been Tyler Algier finding the end zone, who's also a strong running back. I would desperately like to see him be on his own somewhere else and be a true RB1 because I think he has that talent. But that 1-2 punch, Pitts is coming along a little bit. Maybe they get Mooney involved. But this Falcons team, their defense is stronger than the Panthers, in my opinion. Jesse Bates has been stepping up. Some of those other guys, not as big of names, reminiscent of the Los Angeles Rams from last year. Just a good scheme. I think they're able to put the clamps down and get a nice comeback win, split with the Panthers on the year. Panthers have been overperforming a bit. I know Bryce Young has had some clutch moments up and down season. Rico Dowdle stepped in to be a great running back as well. But I'm going to take the stronger defense and the stronger team. Give me the Atlanta Falcons to bounce back and get a win here against their division rival.
I agree completely. I like the Falcons. I'll take it -3. I think Falcons are good. I hate teasing through 0, but if you can get the Falcons in a 3-leg teaser and get them at +3.5, I'd love this even more. I think if the Panthers win this game, I don't see it being another blowout like it was, what that was in week 2 there. But I do like Atlanta at home here with a Drake London anytime touchdown.
The Falcons have to win this one to stay alive, too. I think that the Panthers overachieved. They won the games they were supposed to, won some crazy ones, too. Sitting here at 5-5, I think that record's better than they actually are. And I think that the Falcons are a better team than that 3-6 record indicates. At home, we saw them
beat some good teams, though. They've beaten
at
the
home.
Packers. They've beaten
The Bills.
They didn't beat the Bills.
They beat the Bills on that primetime game. That Falcons-Bills.
Oh, I'm saying the Panthers.
Oh, the Panthers. Yeah, they
beat the Packers. Panthers beat the Cowboys, who have a good offense. For them to win that game, I thought was pretty big. I know it was at home. Who were some of their other wins against?
The Panthers. Some of the
Saints.
lowest. Yeah, they've handled the Saints. They got beat by the Saints though in that last one. I thought they were going to win last week. They were at such a good spot. I mean, they're kind of on a downturn here though, in my opinion.
Let's see.
Yeah, give me those Panthers wins on the season. But last week was a letdown spot. Everybody thought the Panthers were going to get to 6-4, hosting the Saints there with Tyler Show at quarterback.
Their first win was when they crushed the Falcons,
33-0.
Yes. So then they went to New England, lost to your Patriots 1-3, came home, beat the Dolphins. So they've beat the Falcons, Dolphins, Cowboys, Jets, got killed by the Bills. That's why I was thinking when you said they beat the Bills, I was like, they lost to the
Oh
Bills
no, the Falcons
like
went. Yeah,
40-9. That's what was the final score. And then they beat the Packers. Um, they lost to the Saints last week. I was thinking,
yeah,
yeah, I was thinking they beat the
17-7.
Saints. That was their only game against the Saints.
Big letdown game too.
Yeah.
I mean, I really thought they were going to win that one. I just think that they don't have enough firepower, but they did have the Falcons number so much. It's such an interesting game because, like I said, this Falcons team is much better than we think they are.
Another team that has a very tough schedule to end their season.
Yeah,
The
if they want to
Panthers
stay
have
alive,
a
they have to
divisional
win more.
matchup on the road here at San Francisco next week, home against the Rams, at the Saints, home against the Bucks, home against the Seahawks, at the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean
They're
they're
not a yeah. This is not a playoff team. I
another.
think the Panthers lose here.
Yeah, Panthers are a fraudulent 5-5 team. Sitting at 500 is nice for them, but I really don't think their record's that indicative of who they are. Like we said though, Falcons sitting there at 3-6. They got to get this one. They played tough against really good teams. I think they're due for an outbreak here. And after getting shut out by this team, I don't see that happening again.
Yeah.
I'm going against that last streak. Being in Mercedes-Benz Dome is going to help out, and we're going to see a strong Michael Penix, London, Bijan connection this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Look for Bijan to find the end zone after not doing it last week.
Yeah. Speaking of those Tampa Bay Bucks, our next game is the Bucks at the Bills, and a great game here with the Bills, the favorite, -5.5. Over under 48. Bills -250 on the money line. Bucks +200. Both of these teams coming off a loss. Now both sitting at 6-3. I like the Bills to win this game. I don't think 5.5, but I think if the Bills are going to win this, they're going to have to, I think, cover that number. I think if the Bucks stick around, we've seen Baker stick around in these one possession close games, and he's winning. He was winning them to start the year. Did that magic wear off? We saw a tough performance last week or the week before. I'm going to go with the Bills here. 5.5 is a scary number. I said it with my Steelers. That's a number I never like either way. I'm going to take the Bills to win this game. I think they're a great parlay leg.
Yeah, I like the Bills to cover this spot here. I think after getting beat by the Dolphins, it's a little bit of a wake-up call. And the way the Patriots are playing, too, the Bills are one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion. And they have that super quarterback with Josh Allen.
They're not going to let you guys get that much far ahead. They know you have an easy schedule, and they have a gauntlet. They're going to have to win games like this.
And that offense is too good to keep down. James Cook, a premier running back. Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback in the league. They got to get Kincaid healthy and have him firing.
Let's look at their schedule.
Maybe you unlock Keon Coleman a bit more, Khalil Shakir. Their weapons aren't as strong in the passing game as we'd hope, but like I said, I like Kincaid in the mix with them and Knox as well. And I think Allen does enough with his legs and James Cook too to get the job done. Meanwhile, this Bucs team, ever since Bucky Irving's been out of the mix, Mike Evans too, Chris Godwin, those are 3 very big names that Baker relies on, and they haven't been there, and that's why they've been losing these games. Baker, we're playing like an MVP. He has Emeka Ibuka, that star rookie receiver. Tez Johnson stepping up and showing his impact too. 2 touchdowns last week. If you have him in your fantasy lineups, feel free to keep firing up. That connection with Baker seems to keep getting stronger and stronger. But I don't trust that Bucs defense to be able to contain the Bills here. Look for them to drop this game and the Bills to get back in the win column.
Yeah. Our next game on the slate is the Packers at the Giants with Jameis Winston likely under center. It's no Jackson Dart. The Giants are getting 7 points at home, over under 43.5. Giants +280. Packers -350. Which way do you go here? Do you trust Jameis and these Giants?
I do not. I expect Jameis to throw for some yards, throw a couple touchdowns, but you know he's turning the ball over too. And that Packers defense has been their sounding drum for the whole year. They should have won last week. You hold the Philadelphia Eagles to 10 points, you should win that game. People talk about Jordan Love saying he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he lays 2 eggs against the Panthers, one against the Eagles, not really stepping up. I know they're without Tucker Kraft, one of their biggest targets in the game. Romeo Doubs is going to be healthy. It looks like they might get Matthew Golden back this week too. Christian Watson coming back in has been a nice, a pleasant surprise for them too. Josh Jacobs is very strong. I think that they're going to get back in the win column this week. Without Jackson Dart, I think this Giants team is kind of stuck in the mud. They kind of already lost Scatabo and Neighbors. How many more blows can this team take? They just fired their coach, Brian Daboll. I feel like it's been a long time coming. A lot of fans there also mad they didn't get rid of the GM. Maybe that's after the season. But without Jackson Dart there to lead the helm, the way he was playing too, they were winning that game if he stays healthy last week. What he was doing with his legs and through the air, he's been an exciting rookie. I do think Jackson Dart has a strong place in this league if he can stay healthy. A lot of concussions already coming his way, but I think without him, this Giants team does not stand a chance this week. Get right game for the Packers. Look for Love to get another strong performance like he did against the Steelers on that Sunday Night Football game. Give me the Pack here to stay strong and cover that spread.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm not big on the Giants, especially
Are
without
the
Thor. I think.
Packers still a legitimate Super Bowl threat, do you think?
Uh, mm,
Defense is very strong. Micah Parsons, Xavier McKinney, Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker. They
I
have a
would say
lot of
yeah. I would say yeah.
a good coach too. And Love shows us he has that potential play, but these weird outlier games where they held to such few points is so shocking to me. I don't really like some of their decisions offensively. What they do with their play calls, especially in third and fourth down situations. I think they could be much more efficient. Love has that potential, but still kind of finding his footing in this league. You got to be more consistent if you want to be considered a top quarterback. And we said Tucker Kraft is out, but you still have some strong weapons on that side of the ball. I think the defense holds down the Giants big time, though. Look for a low score from that Giants side. Definitely some turnovers from Jameis Winston. Maybe we carded Jameis Winston interception. We haven't seen him play in so long. Fun for the league to see him back in the mix, but the Pack is going to get back in the win column here.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is a great parlay leg to go along with the Bills. And then there's one more I just saw that would make a great three-legger, but we'll get to that when we touch on that game. But our last 1 o'clock game, the Chargers, the 7-3 Chargers, going to Jacksonville to take on the Jags at what is this? Oh, yeah, as I said, this our last 1 o'clock game. Over under for this game is at 43.5. Jaguars are getting 3 points at home. And are plus 125 on the money line. Chargers minus 150 on the road. Jags, is this Jags team frauds? Let's start there.
Is Trevor Lawrence a fraud? Because I think the Jags team's actually pretty strong. I think Liam Cohen's a great coach. We saw him in disgust last week after they blew that massive lead in the fourth quarter, throwing his headset. I think they're going to end up bringing in a new quarterback, which is crazy to say because everybody thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be that guy. And I'm going to put the blame solely on the quarterback there. The defensive touchdowns that the Texans had last week, that was a 2-unit play for me on the money line on the Jaguars last week. They ended up blowing late. I thought that was locked in the bag, set, a nice win. You have ETN. I know you've lost Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas hasn't been what you hoped. They brought in Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington on the outsides look pretty good too. But they should be a much better team than they are. I think on paper they should be able to hang this game, but the Chargers are so good. Justin Herbert, we've been saying how good he is the last few years. Mackey not too high on him. He's great with the weapons he has too. Looks like Lad McConkey the second half of the first half has been truly unlocked. We saw the big plays he had last week, almost 2 touchdowns. He had one. Their running game without Najee Harris, without Omari Hampton, has looked good with Vidal too. They have Aranda Gadsden, that rookie tight end that's jumped on the scene, and Keenan Allen, QJ, and all these receivers they have on that side. It's just going to be too much. And that Chargers defense has been strong. In that win against the Steelers last week, they held them down. An easy task again here against Trevor Lawrence, but it's going to be a big spot. This game might be tighter than people expect, but I'm going to take the Chargers on the money line here. I think they get a late win with that leg of Dicker and look for a lot of points. And from that Chargers side, I just don't see a way that the Jaguars are able to keep up and kind of fizzle out of this playoff race.
Yeah, I agree here. I like the Chargers to kind of keep the good times rolling, get to 8-3. I'll probably take them minus the 3 points here. I'm not big on this Jaguars team. I think they're starting to show their true colors. I think this is when they drop back, get back down to 500 or 5-5.
If the playoffs start today, these two teams will be matched up, right? Jaguars still occupying that 7th spot. We have the Chiefs breathing right down there.
I was in the graphic I posted today. It would be Chargers at Steelers.
The Chargers Steelers. Yeah, the Jags sitting in the 7th spot then, so they would be taking on the Broncos if it ended today. But I think the Jaguars are going to fall out of that spot, and we got to expect Mahomes and Co. to get back in there. But I do like what Liam Owens. Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to take the division. I
agree. Believe me, I agree. I think Ravens get in. Steelers will be probably the 7th seed again, just like they always are.
You just got it's going to be tough though with the way the Chiefs are playing. Some of these other 7 seeds. Look at the Texans.
All the draft picks we have. I'd rather us not make the playoffs, but they don't play that game. They love this 500.
You know what's tough if you do miss the playoffs too. It's not even like you're going to have a high pick because you guys are still going to have 7 or 8 wins.
It'll be we miss the playoffs at 9 and 8.
Yeah, and you don't have a good pick. It's like, oh, if you're stuck in that purgatory spot. It's like, just tank for a year. This wasn't the year. I mean, they were right there, but hey, a win this week against the Bengals. I mean,
it is looking out that this isn't looking like the year for quarterbacks that everyone thought it was for the
college. 2 years away. 2 years away.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Steelers are staying in that mix. But this Chargers team, man, I think they are legit. I think when healthy, Justin Quarterback's a top 5 quarterback in the league. And I don't think he loses to Trevor Lawrence here this week. Like I said, Chargers will occupy a playoff spot. Maybe they could push for that division. I think we have the Chiefs and Broncos. We'll get to that game here shortly. But I think they could push to stick with those teams right in that mix too. A win here goes a long way. And those Jaguars would fall out of the race. Just not enough. Not their year. they lined up perfectly too. But Trevor Lawrence just showing he's not a premier quarterback in this league.
Yeah. The next one on our slate, the first 4 o'clock game, an NFC West matchup, two NFC West matchups here at 4:05. The first one is going to be the 49ers in Arizona to face the Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 2.5 points here. Over under at 48.5. Cardinals plus 130. Niners minus 155. This is a no bet for me because
Seems disrespectful to the 49ers, doesn't it?
I kind of said the same thing. That's a sketchy line. I'm going to stay away from this one. I lean on the Niners, but that's scary. If this drops even more, it closes it like Cardinals plus one. I could see myself take Arizona here.
Well, the thing is, they just lost Marvin Harrison Jr. for at least a week, maybe longer. He just had the appendicitis surgery, so he's out this week. You have Jacoby Brissett throwing the rock to Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. Their running game is not strong with DeMarcado and Bam Knight leading the way, as they've lost Connor and Benson still on the IR. Their defense has played better than they actually are, but they're still not a strong unit. And the Niners are getting healthier. Ricky Pearsall seems to be back in the mix this week. And let's not forget the best players on the field are Christian McCaffrey, are George Kittle. I think that they're able to stay strong. And Mac Jones has been playing good football. Kyle Shanahan able to scheme strongly. I think they're right there safe.
Next game here, the other NFC West matchup for the 4:05 slate here. The Seattle Seahawks going to SoFi Stadium to take on the Rams. The Rams are the favorite here at -3, over under at 48.5. Rams money line is -165. Seahawks at plus 140. Sorry, I couldn't read that there. But yeah, another great divisional matchup. Probably one of the best games on the slate this weekend. 7-2 versus 7-2. The Rams obviously coming off both of these teams coming off big wins here. Trying to pull up some stats here. Obviously, Matthew Stafford on an absolute tear. But the Rams last week with a big win in San Francisco, absolutely destroying the Niners. They've won 4 straight. Seattle, same spot. They've won 4 straight with a big win last week. Another divisional spot. Hosting the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Rams here, minus the 3 points. I think they're the better team. I think the magic runs out for Sam Darnold at some point, kind of like we saw at the end of the season last year for Minnesota. I'm not going to say it's going to be this week. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, but the way Matthew Stafford's playing right now, the MVP style of ball you're getting out of him, in a Hall of Fame quarterback with Puka Nacua, with Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, the way that Rams team is buzzing on all cylinders, on Sean McVay running all the madness. I'm going to take the Rams here, minus the 3 points. I think this is a great spot to take the Rams. I think they are the better team. I think they will win the NFC West, and I think they're definitely a Super Bowl contender. I think this is going to be a serious test for the Seattle Seahawks team to see how good they are. A lot of people starting to peg them as Super Bowl contenders. We'll have to see here on a great game on Sunday at 4:05 in LA. Our other, third 4 o'clock game, the 4:25 game, another divisional matchup, and to keep these divisional matchups coming, with the Baltimore Ravens heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are 7.5-point dogs here. Ravens, like I said, at -7.5, over under 39.5. Ravens are -400 to win this game. Browns at +300. 39.5 scares me as a total, but this is a must-win game for the Ravens. Every game right now is must-win. Steelers sitting there at 5-4, Ravens at 4-5. They're going to win this game. This is the third leg that I was talking about for that parlay. Bills, I'm already blanking on it. Bills, Packers, Ravens. That's a great 3-legger there. I'm going to take Baltimore. I think they covered the 7.5. I think the Browns offense will struggle to get anything going here. I'm going to take the Ravens minus the 7.5. 7, I prefer it on the money line. Just put it in a parlay. This is a free parlay leg for the Ravens to win this game. AFC North matchup, it could be a low scoring. You could see the Browns jump out maybe to a first drive lead. But I'm going to take Baltimore here. But yeah, I was kind of diving into some of these games here. I touched on Seattle in the Rams. I said Rams minus 3.5 was my play there. And then for Ravens, Browns, Ravens are minus 7.5. That was the third leg I was talking about for that parlay. Bills, Packers, Ravens.
Yeah, that Seahawks Rams game, man, that's going to be an absolute banger. Could be the best game of the week, but we have some other great matchups too. The way Sam Darnold's spinning the rock, he has Rashid Shaheed now too, but JSN is the best receiver in the NFL this year. I mean, he's on pace to potentially set some records there in Seattle. He has 9 less receiving yards than the whole Titans receiving room combined, which is a crazy stat to see. And with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker behind Sam
Arguably the
Darnold
two
too.
best receivers in the NFL this year in this game, Nakua and JSN.
Yeah, right. And Nakua missed a few weeks, and he's still right up there in that
Yeah.
stat category. But that Seahawks defense is going to be tough. And we know the Rams defense can play well too. Sam Darnold up there, not really in the MVP race, maybe in the second tier, third tier of MVPs. But I mean, he's worth the money. Did we not see that coming? We kind of thought Seattle overpaid him after that big year in Minnesota, but he's sticking strong. I mean, how can you not with those weapons? But he's really been a saving grace for Seattle and keeping them in the mix. Meanwhile, on the Rams side, Matthew Stafford definitely putting together an MVP type season. Second in the rankings right now behind Drake May. With Nakua and Devontae Adams, they have the strong running game with Kyron Williams in defense and the coach and Sean McVay. That's going to be an absolute banger. I think I'm going to stay away touching that one, but definitely going to be one I'm going to watch. If you had to pick one, you said you'd go with the Rams.
Yeah, I lean on the Rams. I think they are the better team. At home, I think if they're going to be the divisional favorites, like I think they are and win this division, I think it's one you got to get at home.
And yeah, it's at home. If this was in Seattle, it's a different tune.
Yeah.
But this is going to be telling, especially when we get down to win that division. I think both these teams are playoff teams. We'll see them here later in the winter. But being in Los Angeles is definitely helpful, not having to go against the 12th man. Then you started touching on that Ravens-Browns game. I mean, of this later slate, that's definitely a sleeper of the game. Dylan Gabriel, they said they're sticking with him at quarterback, which makes no sense to me.
I think they're doing it right. They're trying to lose games. They're worried about Shedeur if he were to come in and like do good.
They want to don't want to ruin
games. Him. What?
They don't want to ruin him or their draft position.
Or him get hurt. Yeah, exactly. Like I think they are kind of playing it out. They're like, this season's a loss regardless.
Yeah, but imagine the hype around Shedeur Sanders if he does step in. How much media coverage is that game going to get? They do have Judkins. They're getting the Njoku more involved. Maybe they'll have Fannin back this week. We actually saw Jerry Jeudy have a productive game, which we've been waiting for so long. We know how good Myles Garrett and that defense can be, but the Ravens typically handle the Browns team. A lot of the AFC North likes to split. I don't think that's the case here. I think the Ravens are starting to find their stride. The defense is fully healthy with Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith leading the way. They're good to go here. Lamar kind of inching himself back into that MVP race too. He's always in it, 2-time MVP himself. The crazy thing to me is Derrick Henry has not found the end zone in a while. Justice Hill has. I had him on the card last week and he hasn't. Maybe he's due. But I think it's a low-scoring game for the Browns here. I don't think they're able to put up more than 10 points this week. Give me the Ravens by whatever number they're giving them, and they could become first place in that division as soon as this week. It's coming, if not Huff. That light schedule for the Ravens has to be worrisome in the AFC North.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Then this game I was about to touch on, another divisional matchup, our last one of the week, with the Kansas City Chiefs heading to Mile High to take on those 8-2 Broncos. Broncos are the dog here, getting 4 points at home, over under 44.5. Broncos money line plus 170, Chiefs minus 210. I actually like the Chiefs minus the 4 here on the road. I think this could be a tough spot, tough place to play. But the way Bo Nix has looked, the Broncos defense is legit. They're one of the best in the NFL, one of the best at getting to the quarterback with Benito. A lot of the other pieces they have, Surtain in pass coverage, obviously gives those guys time to get to the quarterback. But I'm going to take the Chiefs minus 4 here. Scary spot on the road, divisional matchup. But I think the Chiefs are rolling right now after that loss against the Bills. I think this is when they get back.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to be in the playoff picture when it's all said and done. And it starts with a win here this week at Divisional One. Bo Nix has been winning football games, but he has not looked good. I know that he has some clutch moments, and especially like that game against the Giants where he had that legendary fourth quarter
comeback. Chiefs were on bye last week too, right?
Huh?
Chiefs are on a bye?
Yeah, they're coming off the bye.
I love Kansas City here.
And J.K. Dobbins is on the IR now. It's a full dose of R.J. Harvey, which isn't a bad thing. I think he's electrifying. And what about Troy Franklin? He stepped up big time for the Broncos too. He's been the premier threat, but the Broncos have been squeaking by with wins. It was Thursday Night Football against the Raiders. They barely beat the Raiders. They barely beat the Giants. There's a lot of other light matchups that they barely got through. The Jets, just a weird team. But like you said, that defense is top-notch, and that's why they're winning football games. Besides Benito, they're putting so much emphasis on him. It's like a Myles Garrett treatment. Everybody else can kind of shine and get through. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, they have Rashee Rice back. They have Xavier Worthy. They're coming off of a bye. Travis Kelce's going to be good to go. They haven't found their true running game, but they've been game planning for this one for multiple weeks now. if they want a chance to win their division, it starts with a win here. Give me the Chiefs. I like them to cover the spread as well. I think they're going to put up over 24 points. I think it's going to be a struggle for the Broncos to find the end zone. Yes, Denver's a tough place to play, but give me the Chiefs here to make this division, the AFC West, a lot more entertaining.
Absolutely. And then we slide into Sunday Night Football with the Detroit Lions heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. Eagles are the favorite here at -2.5 at -120, so basically -3. Over under 46.5. Eagles money line -155. Lions +130. Which way do you go here? Sunday Night Football.
It's crazy to say this, but I'm going to take the Lions here. I think that the Eagles will finally have to open up their offense and get everybody involved, like Smith and Brown and Goddard and Barkley. They're going to have to be firing all cylinders, but the Lions can put up points in a flash. And with the new offensive coordinator, new scheme that the Eagles are running, it's going to be tough for them to match that. Amon-Ra St. Brown is absolutely uncoverable. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles, that duo is absolutely strong. They still have strong guys like Laporta, Williams, Tesla behind them. Their defense is playing a little bit better, although banged up in the secondary. I like them to go on the road and beat this Eagles team here this week. When it comes to the playoffs, it'll be a different story. The Eagles play winning football, so it's tough to say. But I just think Dan Campbell is going to find a way to put enough points on the board where the Eagles can't keep up. If they go down about 10 early, it's going to be tough for Hurts to come back. He hasn't done it yet this year.
I agree. I like the Lions here. I think Lions on the money line. I'm going to take the +130. I just think this is one the Eagles are going to drop. It's not a divisional matchup, Sunday night game. Lights are bright here, 6-3 versus 7-2. I think the Lions catch them here and both of these teams will be sitting at 7-3 in the end of the weekend. But definitely going to be a good game. I think high
it's
scoring.
all about the pace of the game. If it's a high scoring
like
game,
you said,
give me
for
the
every
Lions.
reason, the Lions can score in a flash, like you said. When Gibbs is going, when they get Jameson Williams involved with the deep ball, when Amon-Ra is having one of those games, which I think this will be. I think the Lions get the last laugh and get the win here in Philly.
If the Eagles are able to get their offense going, though, and pull off the win against a hot Detroit Lions team, do you think that puts the rest of the league on notice that, oh, man, we have the Eagles of last year back?
I don't know. That's tough. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, after last week only putting up 10, but getting a victory over the Packers, I want to see more from them. I know the record's there. We haven't won in our power rankings. They're a very strong team, but the Lions are definitely a formidable foe. After starting the year kind of slow, they found their stride. Like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, strong game this week. I like him on the receptions, him to find the end zone. I think they can put up 28 to 31 points here this week. And it's going to be tough for the Eagles to get above that 20 mark.
Yeah, I agree. And then our last game on the slate for Week 11, Monday Night Football, Mackey's Dallas Cowboys, 3-5-1, heading to the 2-7 Raiders. Can they please stop giving us the Raiders in primetime games? Raiders are getting 3.5 points, over under at 50.5. Raiders +145, Cowboys -175. Here's my theory on this game. I did not take the Cowboys -3 against Arizona. I thought that was going to be an absolute Cowboys slam spot. Mm-hmm. I ended up doing the Javonte touchdown, the Ferguson touchdown, whatever.
They did nothing.
None of it hit. I went 0-3. Here, I'm slamming the Cowboys -3.5. I think in Vegas, I think this is one that they will score as many points as they want to on this Raiders defense. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys defense is so scary, but 3.5.
But Geno Smith, why do they keep going to Geno Smith? They had Kenny Pickett in for a second. They're like, no, get out. We want to lose the game.
Did you see the 3 plays that Kenny Pickett's made this season? It looks way worse.
He's not good either. They just have such tough options. Ashton Genty's strong, even though it gets hit behind the line of scrimmage every play. Brock Bowers, you have to get him more involved. They didn't really use him against the Broncos last week. It was a 10-7 game. You're right there against one of the best teams in the league, and
they didn't even touch him last week.
You can't find a way to involve Brock Bowers. Crazy to me.
You took him touchdown and receptions, I don't think, and he had 3 catches for 20 yards.
Yeah, and he did nothing. He had 1 big catch in the first half, and then he was completely silent.
Yeah.
Trey Tucker's their wide receiver 1. They don't have enough firepower. I know we say that the Cowboys defense is weak. This might be a spot where the Cowboys defense can show out a little bit. Geno Smith loves to turn the ball over. The Cowboys offense can be high flying. That was such a weird game against the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that happens again. Coming off of a 3-5-1 record, it's a must-win spot for the Cowboys to keep pace in the NFC and have a chance at the playoffs here. I do expect them to blow them out too. They're not an AT&T, not a lot of talk about them, so this is a good spot to get the Cowboys back to relevancy. I think Dak Prescott has a strong day. He's going to find CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, one of the best dynamic duos in the league. Javonte Williams will find the end zone. I think Ferguson gets involved as well. I could see them putting up over 30 points. Meanwhile, the Raiders, it's an adventure on every offensive snap. Do you think Geno finishes the year as the quarterback?
No.
I don't think so either. This could be his last run as well. Pete Carroll and his boys, there are better days ahead for the Raiders, but they need a lot more in a lot of key positions to get relevant. They held the Broncos at 10 points last week, but I think the Cowboys offense is more high powering, a lot more stronger weapons. Give me the Cowboys here. I think it's a disrespectful line at 3 points. The public's going to be all over it, but I will be too.
Yeah, I agree. And then, yeah, that's it for a good NFL slate. Make sure you stay tuned for our live stream on Sunday for all of our week 11 picks, going through our top 5 games. Like I said, for week 11, you can catch all of our plays, HitTheBooks.pod on Instagram and HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter.
Huff, one more point in the NFL here. Today is the only day in history, I think we can say, Drake May and Rob Gronkowski are both Patriots at the same time, as he signed his one-day contract to retire a Patriot today. If only we could have given that 2-day contract like Kraft said and have him play tomorrow night against the Jets.
Yeah, I saw that.
That would have been awesome. But shout out to 87. Maybe they'll retire his number like they should do with 12 as well.
Yeah, I think 12 is definitely coming soon. But yeah, we'll jump over to the NHL. We have our power rankings this week. We'll do that in the NHL and NBA, and then touch on some college football before we get out of here. NHL, our top 5 for this week in the power rankings. Number 5, the Dallas Stars. Number 4, the Anaheim Ducks with a hot start. And the number 3, New Jersey Devils. Number 2, Carolina Hurricanes. And number 1, those Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, Anaheim, 11-4-1, 23 points. Number 1 in their division out there in the Pacific.
Tough division, too.
Yeah, I don't think many people expected that in the division with Vegas, with Edmonton, and I mean, even LA. Your San Jose Sharks have been fun to watch at 8-6-3, 19 points. They've been pesky to start the season. My Penguins have been kind of still in that middle of the pack. They're sitting at third in the Metro. I'd like to see them be in that spot. 9-5.
I think they're actually a good team, though. I know they started hot and they fizzled.
That's what I said to Mackie. Mackie was like, "At what point are you like? Are they actually good?" I'm like, "I think
I don't
they
know
are
about
good,
but I
they're
think they're like
with these teams. They're
third
not
in the
getting
Metro
outscated.
wild card. They'll be in that mix.
Yeah, that's what I was. They'll be where they always are, but I actually think they will get in. I think the young kind of spark of players that they did mix in.
They needed that.
Yeah, it fixes like all the old guys that you have. You still have guys like Hayes, Crosby, Malkin, but like you said, Malkin and Crosby have been on fire to start the year. Crosby's absolutely carrying us, but guys like Kindle, an 18-year-old making his NHL debut, has been one of our biggest pieces. Adding guys like that, Seelov's in that. Jari's had a good start to the year.
Still got to worry about that goaltending long term, but
exactly,
they've held so far. They've held so far.
Yeah, it's a week by week basis. We have 2 goalies that I honestly am comfortable in. I'd rather see Seelov's in there, but yeah, I think we have a good top 5 in the NHL. But the one team that I also think is on the outside looking in that will be back in this top 5 is Winnipeg. Utah, even starting out as a fun team. I don't think they're there yet in that top 5.
Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal as well in the East for sure.
Cole Caulfield and Demidov, they've been so fun to watch with that team. Lane Hudson's one of the top defensemen in the league. Suzuki's been on absolute fire. I think he's playing his way into a spot on Canada's Olympic roster. Same with Caulfield to the Americans. That Ducks team, though, Leo Carlson, he's starting to set up as one of the best players in the league. His point streak's insane. They brought in Cutter Gauthier. They got him for free from the Philadelphia
Gaudier's
Flyers.
On fire.
Yeah, a great play. Troy Terry's very strong there. Lucas Dostal, one of the best young goalies in the league. And some of their veteran pieces they brought in, like Trouba. The guys they brought in, Kreider from the New York Rangers, have made a good imprint on this young team. So much talent. I think they're for real. Meanwhile, those Edmonton Oilers, I would be worried if I were them. Yes, they have McDavid. Yes, they have Draisaitl. But the rest of the lineup is not doing much. The Vegas Golden Knights aren't being talked about in our top 5. That's because their depth scoring is non-existent. All these guys they have in their bottom 6 aren't doing enough to help them. Yes, they have Eichel and Marner. They're very strong. But the goaltending woes, too. They're injured. Very interesting to watch. The Avalanche, though, we expect them, the Stars, and the Hurricanes to be there. Natchez and McKinnon is just an insane duo. It's not crazy to say that McKinnon is the best player in the league right now over Connor McDavid. He's always right there, 1-2 with them. Another interesting team to watch is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been stumbling. Austin Matthews is hurt now. William Nylander is the best player on that team currently. But that team keeps dropping games too. Their goaltending issues showing up strong. My Boston Bruins being hot on a 7-game heater. I think they're going to be up and down. Shout out to Pastrnak for scoring his 400th goal the other day. And what about Brad Marchand still completely lighting up the league? I think he's the spokesman of the league is Brad Marchand, probably the most interesting guy in hockey. But he's been fun to watch. And then Connor Bedard, what he's doing, I think he's going to break the 100-point threshold this year.
Yeah, I like it. Hockey's definitely been fun to start. That's been But I haven't watched much NBA. I've been catching some of these big games, but I've been watching with the start the Penguins have had. I've been a lot more invested in hockey than I thought I was going to be this year. It's been fun to watch. There's some good matchups tonight. Obviously, Mackey's Rangers and Tampa Bay.
The Rangers,
As we're
another letdown team.
recording here on Wednesday night. But yeah, we'll jump over to the NBA where we have same thing. Our power rankings in the NBA: Mackey's Knicks at 5, the Lakers at 4, the Spurs at 3, the Nuggets at 2, and the Oklahoma City Thunder at number 1. It feels like they've been at number 1 now for about a year and a
They
half.
have a tough matchup here this tonight, though. Going against the Luka Doncic-led Lakers. They're without LeBron still, and that Lakers team has been absolutely nails. Austin Reeves, Alaravia stepping up.
They're going to
Luka
need a 40
Doncic.
bomb from Luka.
Yeah, I took them on the money line tonight. I think they're able to beat the Thunder. The Thunder have a few key pieces out. They still have Chet and Shea playing, so that's always a good sign. They have good depth too. But talk about the Spurs too. They're in their top 5 continuously. Victor Wembanyama. They got De'Aaron Fox playing with them too, so that's fun to see.
They have a great game tonight. That's what I'm going to be watching. Spurs Warriors at 8:00. The 8-2 Spurs hosting the 6-6 Warriors. Obviously, I love Wemby. He's definitely my favorite guy to watch right now. Him and Ant are the two guys that I probably root for in the NBA. But yeah,
I saw a note that said that the Ants Timberwolves have been putting in some calls for John Morant. I think he needs to get out of Memphis. He's had a slow start to the year. People expecting
do
a
you
lot more out of
imagine
him.
them two together?
Oh yeah, get the two craziest personalities potentially in the league together. That'd be fun to see. Another great team in the NBA. I think the Houston Rockets are very good too.
The one we haven't named, the Detroit Pistons. I think they're good.
Cade Cunningham led Pistons. He turned around that franchise. They have a bunch of good young players with them too. Thompson, Duran, some good names alongside him. The Milwaukee Bucks are playing good basketball too. I think Giannis is out tonight, but they're still a strong team with or without him on the floor.
I think they're at Charlotte tonight.
Yeah, and there's so many injuries on that Charlotte team. LaMelo's not playing. I don't have too much hopes for them, but I think that Giannis's squad without him can still win that game. Yeah, so the NBA's been starting high. I think the Magic are a strong team too, with Paolo leading the way. He's been a good player. Anybody else catching your eyes in the NBA so far?
I'd say other than the Pistons are the team that I thought could be in this list, the Rockets. Other than that, I'm kind of waiting for the Timberwolves to get going. Those Sixers, I still think are fun with Edgecombe, Maxey, Bede when he's on the floor. That's a team that I've always liked, at least kind of lean towards. But yeah, I think the NBA has been fun as well. Like I said, we have some good matchups tonight. Then we got some college football here heading into week 12. Our rankings. Then I got probably 5 games listed there to keep an eye on for this weekend for our card. Our top 10 in the college football world is number 10, Texas. Number 9, Notre Dame. Number 8, Oregon. Number 7, Ole Miss. Number 7, Texas Tech. Number 5, Georgia. Number 4, Alabama. Number 3, Texas A&M. Number 2, Indiana. And number 1, and still Ohio State. And then obviously some games this weekend. We have a great slate in week 12 where college game day will be for number 9, Notre Dame, at number 22, Pitt. Down there at Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium. That is going to be a great game. I think Pitt is on upset alert for Notre Dame. I do think Pitt has potential to win that game. If Mason Heinschel, I think is his name for Pitt, the young freshman quarterback, is able to get going, look for Pitt possibly to upset number 9 Notre Dame there. Obviously, number 11 Oklahoma versus number 4 Alabama. Great SEC matchup there. In the Big Ten, we have number 21 Iowa going to USC to take on number 17 USC. Number 19 Virginia coming off a loss going to Duke. Duke, obviously a good defense. Duke favored in that game. That is going to be a good matchup. See if Virginia is legit or not. And then obviously probably the game of the weekend, number 10 Texas at number 5 Georgia. The SEC championship rematch of last year. The college football semifinal or playoff rematch from last year. We saw these teams face off many times last year. I think it was 3 times total when I had Texas, or that future riding on Texas. We get number 10 Texas going to number 5 Georgia in between the hedges on Saturday night. A great college football slate coming this weekend. Make sure you stay tuned for all of our cards, college football, NHL, NBA, NFL on Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Ace, you got anything else to add before we get out of here?
No, yeah, like you said, college football heating up. I'm starting to see some of those playoff predictions too. So it looks like we'll have some good matchups down the way. Happy to see that Texas is back in that mix because we want to see Arch Manning there. in the playoff time, but I think Ohio State. I know they're ranked 1. It's an easy pick, but I don't really see many people beating them. So we'll have to keep our eyes on these big matchups the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys on Sunday for our Week 11 live stream in the NFL. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.